Hello, how are you all? Welcome to your channel. I'm Mary, and it's a pleasure for me to share another class with you. This time, I'm bringing you the detailed step-by-step for this beautiful bag that's trending right now. Look how pretty it is. We are going to make it using a combination of 2 stitches, double crochet and slip stitch. And this pattern is known as the wave pattern because of the effect it creates. Look how beautiful it is. It's a modern, elegant design that's very easy to make, and it's a really good size because it's quite spacious inside. I invite you to stay with me until the end of the class, enjoy the process, and put it into practice. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I will gladly answer you. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so YouTube lets you know every time we upload a new tutorial video. Now, let's go to the list of materials followed by the step-by-step instructions. For this project, we will work with the following materials. You can purchase the hardware and accessories at your online store. Your supplies. In the description of this video, I will leave you the link to their shopping page. We have scissors, 2 bells, 2 rings, a 2 cm diameter carabiner, 2 stitch markers, and a personalized tag with the channel's name. This one is optional. Measuring tape, 5 mm knitting needle. This will be our main needle. 3 mm knitting needle. We'll use this one to weave in ends. I'll be working with premium feather type extra stretchy t-shirt yarn. This is from Mitra Pillow, and it has a strand that's 2 centimeters wide. Look, it stretches a lot, and it's really soft when you knit with it. And in the video description, you'll also find the exact amount of material we're going to use for this project. Before we start knitting, we're going to leave a strand about 1 meter long to use for sewing later on. Here on this side, I've already organized and stretched the t-shirt yarn really well. So let's start by making a slip knot. And now we'll crochet 74 chains. We have a loop on the hook, yarn over and pull through, loop on the hook, yarn over and pull through. This way, we'll make the chains until we reach number 74. I finished all 74 chains. Please check that you have this amount. Here at the end, make a little knot so the yarn doesn't hang loose. Now, I'm going to give you the measurements. Of the length. It's 43 centimeters. Keep in mind that these measurements may vary depending on the thickness of the material you're working with and how much attention you pay when making the chains. Now, we're going to work on the first row, and we're going to do it on the back of the chain where the bumps are. We pass the needle under the second bump, here. And we will work single crochets, here on this side. Here, 1 stitch under each little bump until you reach the last one. And here, we'll start on the second one, because the first one is our height stitch. That means we'll be working on chain number 73, and 74 will be the height stitch. We pass the needle under the second bump. We yarn over, bring it forward, and here we raise it to the height of the little ear that's on the hook. Yarn over, pull through both. Here we make our first single crochet. We go under the next little ridge. We yarn over and pull up a loop. Now we yarn over again and complete the stitch. We go under the next one. We raise it to the level of the little loop that's on the hook, yarn over and finish. Our single crochets will look like this. We're going to keep working 1 stitch under each ridge until we reach the last one. We've reached the last ridge. We pass the hook underneath and make the last stitch here. We make a turning chain and finish the first row of single crochet. Here we have a total of 73 stitches. Please check. Now we turn the piece. And now we're going to work on the second row. Here we'll start with the stitch pattern that we're going to use for this project. And this is known as the wave stitch, where we'll combine 2 stitches, double crochet and slip stitch. We start by dividing the piece into 3 parts. Here we start with 9 stitches, counting the first one after the turning chain. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We place a marker here. Please check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And here at the end, we also count 9 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here, we place the other marker. We already have the piece divided into 3 parts. We start by separating 9 stitches. In the center, we have 55 stitches left, and here at the end, we have also separated 9 stitches. These initial 9 stitches and the 9 stitches at the end will always be worked with slip stitches. We insert the needle into the center of the second chain, picking up the strand that's on the top. Here, we'll make the stitches. We insert the needle into the second one. We pick up the yarn. We have 2 loops on the crochet hook. We slip the first one into the one we already had. We go through the center of the next chain. We pick up the yarn and slip it here. Notice that we're keeping the height at the level of the loop we have on the crochet hook. We remove the marker, and there we make the last stitch. We place it again. Now we're going to work the 2 stitches of the sequence here. We start with a double crochet. We insert the hook in the center of the chain, picking up the top loop, and we'll work 5 stitches here. We yarn over the hook. We insert it into the center of the chain, yarn over, and here we create height. We have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2. We create height. We have 2. Yarn over and finish the stitch. And we make the first double crochet. Yarn over and insert into the center of the next chain. We create height, yarn over, go under the first 2, yarn over, and finish the stitch. We repeat again. We have 4. Now let's do the last one. We completed the 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to work 5 slip stitches. We go through the center of the chain. We yarn over, and here we slip. In the center of the next 2, 3, 4, and 5. Always check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we make double crochets. We'll also work 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4,
4,
and 5. Now we do 5 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is the sequence that we are going to follow. 5 double crochets, 5 slip stitches, 5 double crochets, 5 slip stitches. We continue working. 5 double crochets, 5 slip stitches, 5 double crochets, following the sequence until we reach the stitch before the marker. Here's how our stitch pattern looks. We're going to make the last 5 here, and these will be double crochets. Look, here we made 5 slip stitches. Yarn over and insert through the chain center. And we make a double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We finish the sequence with a double crochet. And see, we also began with a double crochet here. So here in the 55 stitches in the center, we work 5 double crochets, 5 slip stitches, 5 double crochets, 5 slip stitches, making a total of 6 waves. Here, where we have the marker, we're going to work the 9 slip stitches, just like we did at the beginning. We insert the needle in the center, and we slip. In the center of the next, we place the marker again. We make the last stitch. We make a turning chain. And we finish the second row with a total of 73 stitches. Please check. Here we turn the piece. And we start by working the 9 slip stitches. We go through the center of the second chain. Remember that the first one is the turning chain. We remove the marker. We make the last slip stitch. We place the marker again. We finish the 9 stitches from the start. And here we are going to continue the sequence, starting with a double crochet. The first 2 rows, row number 2 and row number 3, we are going to start with a double crochet, and we are going to finish with a double crochet. So here we yarn over. We go through the center of the chain and make the first stitch. We complete the 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whenever you do the sequence, please check to make sure you're not missing or adding any stitches. We make the 5 slip stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 double crochets. 5 slip stitches. Five double crochets. Five slip stitches. Look how the stitch pattern is turning out. On the back side, look how beautiful the wave shape looks. On this side, we're going to continue following the sequence until we reach the stitch before the marker. We finished the last 5 stitches with double crochets. We're going to finish the 9 slip stitches. We go through the center and we slip. We make the last stitch. We make a height channel. And here we've already finished round number 3. And look how the wave pattern looks. Here we can see where we opened the wave. And here in the 3rd round, how we closed it. Look at how this oval looks here. Look, it closes. Slip stitch, then another on top. Here we open. Double crochet. We close with a double crochet. This is how the pattern looks now with the 3rd round finished. Here we are going to turn the piece. And we are going to make the 9 slip stitches at the beginning. And here, where the double crochets are, we are going to reverse the sequence, which means that here we start round number 4 with a slip stitch. And here, where the slip stitches are, we are going to work 5 double crochets. Here where the double crochets are, 5 slip stitches. And here where the slip stitches are, 5 double crochets. Mari, why are we going to do this? Why are we going to switch these stitches? Because if we keep working, double crochet, slip stitch, double crochet, the stitch pattern won't look wavy anymore. Now the piece will take on a different shape. So to make sure our piece stays even and the wave looks smooth and pretty, here we need to reverse the pattern. We keep working the same sequence, but we change the way we start. These first 2 rows will always start with a double crochet, the next 2 with a slip stitch, the following ones with a double crochet, and that's how we'll keep alternating the sequence. We start the 4th row with the 9 slip stitches. We make the last stitch. We start the sequence, and here we begin with a slip stitch. We make 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. On this side, we make 5 double crochets. We complete the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We make a slip stitch. We work a double crochet here. Slip stitch. We're going to make the last 5 stitches, and these will be slip stitches. Notice that here we worked a double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We remove the marker here, and we finish with 9 slip stitches. We make the last stitch. We make a chain stitch. And here we have finished round number 5. Look how the wave is starting to show. Here we start with a slip stitch. Double crochet, slip stitch. Finishing here with a slip stitch. Now we turn the piece. And we start round number 5. Opening again with a slip stitch, we continue with a double crochet. Slip stitch, double crochet. Here we're going to close the wave. So we start with the 9 slip stitches. We start the sequence with 5 slip stitches. Five double crochets. Five slip stitches. We keep working. Slip stitch, double crochet, slip stitch, double crochet, until you reach the stitch with a marker and finish with the 9 stitches. We finish the last stitch here. Here at this height, and we turn the piece. We finished round number 5. We worked a total of 73 stitches. We started with 9 slip stitches and also finished with 9 slip stitches. Here in the center, we continue the sequence of 5 slip stitches, 5 double crochets, 5 slip stitches. We closed the wave here in round number 5. In round number 4, we opened the wave. Here in round number 2, we opened the wave with a double crochet and closed round number 3 with a double crochet. We are going to keep working following this stitch pattern, combining these two sequences. What does that mean? That in round number 6 and number 7, we are going to open the sequence with double crochet, just like we did in round number 2 and round number 3. For round number 8 and number 9, we are going to repeat the sequence from round number 4 and number 5, starting with a slip stitch. Whenever you start a round, whether with a slip stitch or a double crochet, you should finish it with the same. Please always check that you have 5 stitches so you don't have one too many or one too few. I'm going to continue, and I'll show you how tall I'm going to make the piece. I finished the height of the piece. This is how this dot pattern turned out. You can already see the waves very well. Look how beautiful they look. The stitch turned out very structured, very well organized. Look how firm the piece is. This is how the stitches look on the front side. And on the back side, we can see these honeycombs. Look how beautiful they are. This part is the one we're going to leave for the front of our bag, because that's how it's being used. But if you want, you can leave either side. Here, I worked a total of 37 rows. If you notice that the piece lifts up a little at the edges, that's normal. Because here we started and finished with a slip stitch, and what the stitch does is tighten the piece. So that's why it will be a little lifted. I'm going to show you how I'm going to identify each of the rounds. You're going to do these here in the slip stitches. Here we can see some grooves, some little ridges. Each one of them is a round. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. We worked 36 rounds of the stitch pattern, and number 37 is the single crochet round that we do. Here we're going to finish with a round of single crochet for a total of 38 rounds. And like this, we managed to finish in the same way we started. When you complete the height of the piece, try to do it the same way you started. We started working the second and third rounds with double crochet. And here, rounds 36 and 37, we finish with double crochet. We start from this side. Double crochet and we finish with double crochet. The process is very simple, but what you do need to keep in mind is to count the stitches so you don't have any extra or missing stitches. You make 5 double crochets, 5 slip stitches, 5 double crochets, and 5 slip stitches. We're going to work the last row with single crochet. We start here at the last slip stitch. We make a turning chain and turn the piece. Here, we're going to work the stitches by passing the hook under the entire chain. We go under the second one here. Remember, the first one is the turning chain. Under the next one, here where the wave stitch is, we go under the whole chain. On this side, where the slip stitches are as well. So, under the whole chain, make single crochet stitches until the last one, then insert the hook under the second chain. Here we yarn over and make a single crochet. Under the next one, we can now remove the markers. We go under the entire chain, always keeping the height at the level of the small ear on the hook. Why is that, Mari? Because this will allow us to have all the stitches at the same height, which means they'll turn out even. So we go under the next one here, height, and we close. height, and we close. This is how the stitches look. We keep working until we reach the last one. We make the last stitch here. We create a chain stitch in the air. And here we're going to cut the yarn, leaving about 1 meter, just like we did at the beginning to do the sewing. We pull out the yarn. We tighten it very well. Here's how our single crochet round looks. Look at how beautiful the finish is, and all the stitches turned out even. Both sides have the same finish. Here we have the wave stitch, just like on this side. And single crochet. Single crochet. I'm going to give you the measurements of the piece now. Something important you need to keep in mind is that every time you finish a row, you should always adjust the stitches. Adjust the piece. Here where the slip stitches are, stretch them really well so they settle into place and the piece finds its shape. So always stretch and adjust everything carefully. In length, I finish with 46 centimeters. In width in the center, 30 centimeters. In width on the sides, 19 centimeters. These measurements may vary depending on the thickness of the yarn and the tension you apply when making the piece. If you want to make the piece a little wider, you will continue working the rows following the sequence. Do this until you reach the desired width. And if you want to make the piece a little longer, you are going to add chains in increments of 10. For example, we started with 74 chains. You can add 10 more chains to continue the sequence. Remember that we start with 5 double crochets and finish with 5 double crochets. If you only add 5 stitches, you will start with 5 double crochets and finish with 5 slip stitches. So, to be able to continue the sequence, you need to add 10 stitches, which will guarantee that you start with a double crochet and finish with a double crochet. From there on, you decide if you want to add 10, 20, 30, depending on the length you want to give it. And if you're wondering, Mari, can I work on this project with another type of material? Of course you can do it. You can use a thicker one, a thinner one. You can work with satin cord, macrame thread, flat cord. It all depends on the material you have available. What you need to keep in mind is that the measurements will change, but you can adjust them by making the piece a little bigger or smaller, depending on the size you want to make it. Now let's do the sewing. Let's take the piece. Look, here we have the right side. We'll leave this one facing out, because remember that we're going to fold it so that the side with the panels is the one facing us. So we take the piece here. We arrange it very well, so that the little dots are facing each other. This way, we're going to sew it with a yarn needle. We take the piece, and we pass the needle from back to front under the little ridge that's on top of the first stitch, right here. Like this. Now, with the yarn on this side, we're going to pass the needle here, under the first chain, and the one that's in front here on this side. Then we bring the needle to the front and pass it under the first one, and the first one that's on top. We're only going to take the top strand of the chain on this side, and this one here on this side. And this one here. And here, we go here on the first strand of the chain, and the one in front here. We fit in well here. We move the needle forward. We go under the first one, and the strand that's in front here. Again, We bring the strand forward. We take the chain's first strand and the one that's in front. This way, the seam will look like this. We keep working all along the edge until we get here to the last stitches. Look, here we're going to do the last 2 stitches. And here we do the last one. Look here. We secure it tightly here. That's how the seam turned out. It's so pretty. We're going to take the yarn, and now we're going to hide it under the stitches. We pass it under here. You cut the yarn here. At the tip, right here underneath, you're going to put a drop of silicone or make a simple stitch. To prevent the yarn from coming out later, you hide the excess. And this is how you'll hide the other yarn ends. This is how the seam turned out. Try not to make it too tight, and you'll repeat this same process on this side. Pass the yarn under the little ridge on top and make the seam in a wrapping way. Hide the yarn, and we continue. I've already finished the seam on this side. It looks just like the previous one. And this is how the piece is starting to look. See how pretty it is. If you want, you can leave it with this pattern facing out, but we're going to turn it inside out. So here, we start turning the piece, adjusting it very well. We adjust it very well. Now to start giving shape to the bag. This is how the seam turned out in the back. See how it looks from here. Now we're going to work on the handle. To work on the handle, we're going to leave a strand of about 50 centimeters approximately. And here we make a slip knot. Now we work 7 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We will be working the handle in a circular way with slip stitches. So here we are going to start closing it. This is the thickness that the handle will have. If you want it to be a little thicker, make more chains at the beginning, or if your t-shirt yarn is thicker. Here, instead of making 7 chains, you can work with 5 or 6, depending on the thickness you want to give it. So here we're going to pass the needle under the first strand. Look, here's the chain. We go under here. From back to front, here we make the closure, and we'll be working under each one. Here. We close. We pass the needle from the inside out. We take the thread and pass it through. Under these two little loops, here, look, we've already closed the circle here. We pass the needle under the next strand. We take the strand, pass it under the first one, and we slide it here. We pass it underneath of the next strand, and we slide here under the next one. Look, here is the next one. We've reached the end here. Let's move to this side. And we're going to go up in a spiral. We pass the needle through and slide it. Here's the process. Just continue making the stitches under the remaining top strands. This way, our handle is taking shape. Here, what we need to do is continue making slip stitches until we reach the desired height. I'm going to work until I reach about 30 centimeters in length. If you want it longer, just keep working. I finished the length of the handle, and this is how the stitches turned out. And look, it turns into a very beautiful tubular handle that's easy to make. I'm going to give you the measurements. For the length, it ended up being 30 centimeters. And in width, it ended up being 2 centimeters. To finish the sleeve, we're going to do some decreases because I'm going to add a bell. So look, the thickness doesn't fit here. We need to make it thinner at the tip. If you're not going to use a bell, you can use a lobster clasp. And here, what you need to do is cut, make a small closure, and then attach the clasp. So what we're going to do here is pass the needle. Under the second chain stitch, we skip the first one and work into the second. We skip the next one and make the next stitch here. We will always be skipping one chain stitch. So we skip the first one, and here in the second one, we make a slip stitch. We skip the next one and make a slip stitch here. See how we've already started closing the tip here. At this point, you can cut, hide the yarn, and attach the ring. But since what we need is for the tip to be longer, now we're going to continue working a slip stitch under the loops that are left. We go through here. We slip. We're going to spiral up until we have a little tip. Look, this way the tip is already getting thinner. Here we can try to see the length. I think it's good like this. Look, now the bell fits in. Now let's make the closure. We pass the yarn, skip the first one, and go to the next one. And here we skip the first strand again. We cut. We pull it out here, tighten it very well. We pass the strand inside. And now we cut the tip. We put the bell on. Look, it went in very well. Before doing this process, Here, you can put a drop of silicone so the handle stays securely in place. Here we can help ourselves a little with a small spatula. From there, it turned out really well. Now, let's tighten the screws. I used this small screwdriver to help myself. Here, we'll repeat the same process, but the start differs slightly since there's no small loop on the hook. So we pass the needle from inside out below the first strand. And here we pick up a strand. See that we already have a loop on the hook. So we skip the next strand. And here we make the slip stitch. Skip the next one. Remember, there are 2 decreases. And now we continue working. A slip stitch under the remaining chains. The handle is ready now. Look, both screws ended up on the same side. You need to fit it very well. And this is how it looks. Now we're going to attach the magnetic clasp. This process is very simple. It's like we're sewing on a button. We take the thicker part and place it in the center of our bag, making sure to arrange it very well first. We find the center. And here we start sewing. I finished all the sewing. I passed the thread under the stitches. Here where we had the previous one, here we're going to make 3 little knots, hide it and cut, to sew the clasp's other side. We put the previous one there. We arrange the piece very well. We open here a little bit. And here we are going to repeat the process, sewing in each space. We finished attaching the clasp. Look how nicely snug it is. Now let's put on the rings. Let's place them here. We've finished the whole process of the bag. This is the result. Look how pretty it is. It's well finished, very detailed. The stitches are very well defined, and the bag turned out to be a very good size. I used 560 grams of material for it. Look, it's an easy and very quick bag to make. I'll give you the measurements now. The height. It was 24 centimeters. Wide at the base. 29 centimeters at the top. 18 centimeters. We've reached the end of the class. Thank you for staying with me until now. I hope you enjoyed the process and that you put it into practice. If that's the case, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment as a sign of appreciation. This gesture may seem very insignificant, but it motivates me to keep sharing these beautiful classes with you. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that YouTube notifies you every time we upload a new tutorial video. See you in the next class. God bless you. Bye.